The top stories for the hour. Analyst says Ethiopia champions pan-African ideals. And India-Africa blueprint unveils 50-year growth plan. Hello and everyone, welcome to EBC World with Nusan Bini. I'm Getana. Do stay tuned. I'll be back right after the transition. Welcome back now to Nusin Full. Ethiopia has become the first country in Africa to introduce smart police technology, joining a select group of nations in Europe and Asia implementing fully digital public safety system. The platform enables citizens to report crimes, traffic accidents and public grievance through an automated digital interface, eliminating the need to physically visit police station. Users can communicate directly with senior police officials and monitor the real-time progress of their cases via mobile device. Authorities say the system enhances transparency, strengthens public trust and supports faster data-driven decision-making. With a unified digital database, police officers can respond more rapidly to emergencies, modernize investigations and reduce operational errors as Ethiopia moves to improve public safety and service delivery nationwide. Meanwhile, foreign affairs ministers from across Africa have begun arriving in Addis Ababa ahead of the 39th ordinary session of the African Union Summit. Ministers from Malawi, Burundi, Nigeria, Zambia and the Republic of Congo were among the first delegations to arrive, with more officials expected throughout the day. The ministers were received at Bole International Airport by senior officials from Ethiopia's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The AU summit is scheduled for February 14 and 15 following the Executive Council meeting and will focus on sustainable water availability and sanitation in line with Agenda 2063. Another domain, Ethiopia, long regarded as a symbol of Africa's resistance to colonial domination, continues to play a leading role in advancing pan-African ideals across the continent. Speaking to EBC World at this dialogue, Pan-Africanist Mulugeta Katama Yifru, son of former Ethiopian Foreign Minister Katama Yifru, highlighted Ethiopia's pivotal role in the establishment of the Organization of African Unity and its enduring legacy. Shaggai Matau has compiled the full story.
Ethiopia, which was never colonized and victorious over Italian invaders in 1896, became a powerful symbol of inspiring African independence. The nation played a decisive role in founding the Organization of African Unity in 1963 by uniting the Casablanca and Monrovia groups under Pan-African ideals and philosophies. Speaking to EBC World at this dialogue, Pan-Africanist Mulugeta Katama, son of Katama Yifru, Foreign Minister of Ethiopia during Emperor Haile Selassie, said Ethiopia played a crucial role in the formation of the OAU and its achievements.
You can't have a Casablanca group on one side and Monrovia. You then expect united Africa, because basically you're giving an opportunity for especially outsiders or Westerners to use that indifferences, to kind of continue widening the differences between all Africans. But instead, Ethiopia played a crucial role in uniting everybody, bringing them here to Addis, and then 62 years ago, I guess, we established the OAU, which ended up, like you said, African Union. So Ethiopia is critical to the African Union. Without Ethiopia, there would not have been an organization like the African Union or the OAU.
Once a symbol of Africa's liberation from European military domination, Ethiopia is now at the forefront of advancing Pan-African ideals in line with Agenda 2063, aimed at a peaceful and prosperous continent. Mulugeta noted that Ethiopia continues to play a critical role in promoting regional integration through initiatives such as FCFTA implementation and Ethiopian Airlines, which embody the vision of a united Africa.
Ethiopia's role also in connecting Africa from north to south, east to west, and connecting not only Africa, but Africa to the world with our airline. That's a key role in connecting the world with Africa, and it's also another way of uniting Africans together, because Ethiopian Airlines, I think 60 African cities are served by Ethiopian Airlines, so that's huge. Then we look at the ground, we're seeing roads, railroads being built from Ethiopia, from Addis to Djibouti. It's part of the Agenda 2063, where connecting Africans is part of the objective not only of the African Union, but also part of it, because we're part of it, it's also the objective of Ethiopia. So Ethiopia is playing a huge role.
Addis Ababa, Africa's diplomatic capital and home to numerous international organizations, is rapidly transforming with modern infrastructure to better host continental and global summits. In this regard, the Pan-Africanist noted that the city has undergone remarkable urban development, serving as a model for other African nations to emulate.
When you look at what's going on in the urban areas, Addis Ababa, for instance, I was born in Addis Ababa. It has dramatically changed. And from my understanding now, other cities in Africa want to emulate the same change that Addis has gone through. They were talking about, Ethiopian government giving them or sending them some advisors or consultants to kind of show them how you go about changing or doing a facelift of a city. And most African countries want to do that. And that also shows you that we are doing something that is being followed by other countries.
As the seat of the African Union headquarters, Addis Ababa has completed preparations to host the 39th ordinary session of the Assembly of Heads of State and Government, the Executive Council sessions, and the upcoming Italy-Africa Summit in the coming days.
As the news continues, the Indian Embassy in Ethiopia has unveiled a landmark 50-year roadmap aimed at strengthening long-term development cooperation between Africa and India. The report, titled The Africa-India Blueprint for Growth, was co-published by India's Center for Social and Economic Progress and the African Union Development Agency, NEPAD. Kasan Janre has more on this.
The Indian Embassy in Ethiopia on Monday officially launched the Africa-India Blueprint for Growth, a comprehensive 50-year roadmap designed to steer Africa and India towards sustained shared growth, stability and security. Co-published by the Center for Social and Economic Progress, CSEP and UDA, NEPAD, the report presents a structured implementation framework divided into 5 10-year strategic phases. Speaking at the launch held at the embassy premises, Indian ambassador to Ethiopia, Anil Kumar Rai, underscored India's enduring commitment to the African continent, saying the blueprint reflects a long-term strategic vision that extends beyond short-term political cycles.
I have nothing much to add, because Her Excellency Madam Margoge has already outlined that how the India-Africa relationship should span out. It has all the elements, it has pragmatism, it has aspirations, and it also has the way forward, that what are the areas where the both countries should work. However, I would like to express my own views on how this report has come up. I have personally been invited in many of the stakeholder meetings to participate, and I think I would have participated in at least 3 to 4 of their conferences, online conferences, and contributed from my own perspective as an ambassador to the African Union and as an ambassador to Ethiopia.
Ethiopian Minister for Women and Social Affairs Ergoge Tesfaye, who also addressed the ceremony held on February 9, 2026, described the report as a milestone in bilateral engagement. She said the initiative marks a new phase of cooperation between Africa and India.
Today's gathering carries special significance. I'm delighted to be here today for the launch of the Africa-India Blueprint for Growth, jointly produced by AUDA, NEPAD, and the Center for Social and Economic Progress, which is a report that lays a strong and credible foundation for the next phase of Africa-India cooperation. I just would love to say congratulations for this great job. This moment builds on recent history. Ethiopia's welcoming of Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi in December last year marked a historic milestone not only in Ethiopia-India relations, but India's engagement with the African continent as a whole.
The blueprint outlines expanded India-Africa collaboration and technology and security, including inclusive artificial intelligence, space technology, and peacekeeping, while placing strong emphasis on people-to-people ties and a celebration of shared diversity. The event also featured a high-level public address and a fireside chat that brought together senior leaders to discuss translating the report's ambitious vision into tangible action.
More than energy, Ethiopia rises as the hub of AI and digital innovation, driving Africa towards the next era of growth and prosperity. Addis Ababa, a benchmark for elegance, a portrait of wellness, the vision of modern city. Today, this capital shines as Africa's guiding light. More than a diplomatic hub, it is the vibrant heart of our collective freedom and innovation. Welcome to the motherland and the land of origin, Ethiopia.
In this new era, we cannot speak in fragments. We must speak as one.
In other news, Ethiopia says Africa's water future must be secured through concrete action rather than rhetoric. Addressing a high-level African Union civil society pre-summit in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia's Minister of Water and Energy, Habtamu Ittefa, said the country is backing continental water sustainability initiative with tangible results aligned with Agenda 2063. As host of the meeting and home to the African Union, Ethiopia underscored its long-standing engagement in advancing continental priorities on water security and sanitation.
As we host the African Union headquarters, we understand our responsibility to support continental initiatives with action, not just with words. Let me mention a few of our commitments, what we have been doing so far. We have been walking the talk in terms of sustaining our water source. The last 7 years, Ethiopia has initiated the Green Legacy concept. Green Legacy is planting of trees. We achieved 48 billion seedlings have been planted. More than 92% has been successfully grown in every corner.
The minister said hosting the pre-summit reflects Ethiopia's continued commitment to supporting African Union agendas, particularly those focused on water security and safe sanitation. He stressed that Ethiopia understands its responsibility as AU host nation to back continental priorities with action, not slogans.
We join hands, especially as Africans. For sure, the rivers we have will be blessed for every one of us. Clean water will be available in our groundwater. Clean water will be available in our river systems. For that, recognition by civil society is also very vital, because that is where you can support and come on board. The AU 2026 AU team is our collective promise to Africa's children that they will grow up in a continent where no one is denied these basic rights. Today is the time for everyone to build for the future, to build for the next generation.
For his part, AU Commissioner for Agriculture, Rural Development, Blue Economy and Sustainable Environment Commissioner Moses Vaikalti said water and sanitation are central to Africa's transformation agenda and essential for sustainable development across the continent.
The 2026 AU theme of the year, assuring sustainable water availability and safe sanitation systems to achieve the goals of Agenda 2063, is a political and developmental imperative. Water and sanitation are not peripheral concerns. They are central to Africa's sovereignty, its resilience and transformation. Without water security and safe sanitation, there can be no food security, no rural transformation, no sustainable cities, no viable blue economy, and no climate resilience.
In our business segment, Ethiopian Central Bank Governor Yobte Kalin has called for the establishment of a regional financial safety net for Africa, warning that dependence on IMF financing and limited foreign exchange reserve is no longer sustainable. Speaking in Alula, Saudi Arabia, he urged African countries to develop strong institutional buffer similar to those in Europe and Asia. Governor Yob also called for urgent reforms to IMF quota system, saying Ethiopia's current allocation does not reflect its economic transformation or its growing role in the global economy. And finally, the Ethiopian Airlines, Africa's biggest airliner, had reported $4.4 billion in revenue during the first 6 months of the Ethiopian fiscal year, marking a 40% increase compared to the same period last year. Briefing the media, Group Chief Executive Officer Mesfin Tasso said the growth was driven by strong performance in passenger services, cargo operations and continued fleet expansion. The airliner, also a member of the Star Alliance, transported 10.64 million passengers and 451,000 tons of cargo during the period, while increasing its fleet to 170 aircraft. The Ethiopian Airlines currently serves 145 international destinations and says it is continuing to strengthen its infrastructure and operational capacity to maintain its leadership position in Africa's aviation sector. And now a reminder of the top stories once again. Analysts say Ethiopia champions pan-African ideas. And India-Africa blueprint unveils 50-year growth plan. You've been watching ABC World, the voice of Pan-Africanism. Thank you for joining us. Stick around with the latest development. Goodbye from me now.